Evening, everybody. I came out to plant up my final bed and discovered the plants I was going to put in have wilted even since lunchtime. So I'm going to soak them and do them tomorrow. And I thought it might be a good time to talk about watering generally and recap on some of the ways to approach it. So I came in here at lunchtime and it was 48 degrees, and these tomatoes looked rather sad. But as you can see, they're fine now. They've recovered, and the basil's absolutely loving it. And so one thing to bear in mind is just because plants wilt in the heat of the day doesn't mean they're necessarily short of water at the roots. They're just not quite keeping up with the supply, and then as soon as it cools down, they'll be fine. So try to resist watering, especially in the middle of the day, because it's not as effective. You're going to lose it from evaporation. And this is where the water probe is actually really handy. If I put that sort of quite near the roots, you can see there's not a huge amount of water just near the surface there. But if I go into the pipes where I've been doing the watering and go a bit further down, as you can see, it's much better. And I think that's enough to get them through to the weekend. I'm trying to only water them once a week. It's not just about saving the water, it's about the labour involved as well. And so first thing, check whether whether things really do need water. Next is try and keep the ground covered, as we were saying earlier. So these lettuces are very good because they're taking up a lot of the soil where otherwise you'd get evaporation. I haven't watered these little gem at all since they were put in. And again, down near the roots, you can see they've got a reasonable amount. And I'm going to aim not to water them. If they're dry and then you water or it rains, they have a tendency to bolt. So it's best to try to avoid it. And if it does rain, you need to eat a lot of lettuce quickly. And then the tub here, I think I've only watered this once since it was planted. That's also showing a very good level of water, about 12 inches down. So that shouldn't need too much more. So it's really about checking whether it really needs it, keeping the ground cover. And if you are going to water, wait until things like these peas are starting to flower, because they're trying to make peas. That's when they're going to really need it. So I did water these when I put the dahlias in. And the really critical thing is the establishing, get as much water as you can under the plants when you're planting them, and maybe one other dousing. And if you can do that and establish them really well, you should have to do less watering further on. Okay, have a good evening. Back tomorrow.